Hello and welcome to Sal's Hoopheads. Great to have your company as always. 9 rounds down in the Sal's NBL. NBA Finals heating up. Jared Weeks, special guest on the show, and a big player announcement not too far away.
Another one.
What
is it?
Very good evening.
No one tells me these things.
This is what we're here for. This is when we tell you.
Now, listen, every week I introduce you as, I've had Batman and Robin, Step Brothers last week, and a lot of people have been writing in, calling in with their own thoughts, and I think I've finally figured it out.
What is it?
You two remind me of these two.
Oh, yeah.
Stettler and Waldorf. Don't you agree?
I mean, yes, we're up in the balcony and we're showering down mostly praise, but not the right attitude. We're happier.
The Muppets.
Well, the production crews had their own stab in the dark as well. Tia's gone with this. Bill and
I
Tia.
like it.
Oh, yeah. Well, look how young Keanu Reeves is.
Back
I'm
in the
Theodore
day.
Logan. Your Bill is Preston.
Oh, cool.
And Isaiah has gone with this. Now, there we go.
Dumb and
That's what
Dumber.
we like.
Yeah.
Is
I
it
like
a good
it.
fit?
I'm Lloyd.
Is it a good fit? You're Lloyd.
Yeah.
are you?
So you're telling me there's a chance?
I want to go where the women flock like the salmon at Capistrano. Anyone else?
No, that's it. That's enough.
Samsonite, I was way off.
Round 9 results. Here we go. The Saints get the double on the road against the Giants and the Airs. Rams take down the Hawks. Tuatara over the Jets. Jets lose 2. Both big chances for them. They were right in those games against the Aucklanders and the Sharks. Wow, what an absolute smashing of the Nuggets. Let's pick it apart. Giants and Saints. Highest scoring collective game of the season, 232 points. There was a lot to like about it, but the Giants, short again.
Yeah, this is going to be a familiar theme for the Giants. They're going to be thereabouts, but not quite getting over the line against teams above them, and there's not many teams below them now, unfortunately. The Saints, though, Casey made the point, they can't stop anyone scoring at the moment. I mean, the Giants aren't an elite, fast-paced team in this league. They still put up 112 on them.
They did, but I think the Giants' offense is really evolving. It's becoming much better. They found some positional stability. Avery Woodson's shooting the heck out of the ball. I mean, absolutely. The way offensively, I think they can score with anyone, but they've got a little bit of the issues the Saints do. Defensively, not where it needs to be against the elite teams in the competition.
Yeah, Woodson number 1 for 3 points made in a game so far this season. The Saints are intriguing because number 1 scoring team in the competition, worst defence in the competition. Can they go on and win this thing with that setup?
I think so. I think if they can score 140 points, I think they'll run the team off the floor, to be honest. But if it's not falling for them, like i.e. the 3-point shot, then they're going to struggle because they're not going to stop most teams in this league. Kyle Adnam, though, 0 turnovers. I think he had 5 over the whole weekend in the second game. Like, that's just incredible. And you've got a guy like him driving that offense, then that's very realistic that they could actually go on and win it all despite the defensive deficiencies.
His look-away passes, there isn't a person in the stadium who doesn't think they might get the ball. I mean, it's just incredible. You don't know where it's going to go.
He's got it on an absolute thread.
And to have a guy who's capable of scoring like that, high 20s every game, but his assist percentage is in the low 40s. I mean, so 40% of the time he's got the ball, it's an assist. I mean, that's just such a great thing to have. You love playing with a guy like that. And with all those weapons, they're getting utilized.
I know we keep chopping and changing. Is he the number 1 point guard in the competition right now, Adnam? I think we've talked about Kendall, Weeks, Adnam number 1. He is for me.
Well, you asked that same question a few weeks ago, and I said no because it's Jeremy Kendall, who was operating at a very, very high level, doing the similar things. Now I have to say, well, if their offense is firing, they've won how many in a row? 5?
They are 4.
Four maybe? Okay. I say that now. He's now the number 1 point guard.
I'd probably lean Weeksy because I think he plays better defense, and Adnam hasn't been great on the defensive end, and I think that's one of the issues with the team. Is his lack of ball pressure.
We'll ask Weeksy.
Is that because you got Jared Weeks on the show?
He's coming. He's done that well.
You're learning from me.
Hawks get a couple down south in round 8. They head back down. They take on the Rams. Rams had this under control. Max Darling. Wow, highlight of the season.
Oh, unreal. And there have been some highlights already this season. Marlon Taylor, of course, but Max Darling, wow. Vicious. 2 foot plant, cocks it back, tomahawk, lean in, whatever you want to call it.
Sorry, I really get him a body bag!
Yeah.
Because he got put down. Great performance by the Rams. The Hawks, once again, coming up short. They were never really close, but they were never really out of it. They couldn't quite get over the talent hump that they had in opposition to the Rams.
Tevin Brown had 30 in that. Galen Smith comes in for his first game. Keep an eye on him. Rams 35 free throws, Hawks 10.
That's an issue. Getting to the free throw line, it's an important way for all teams to be able to get in and keep that scoreboard ticking over. When they're not creating shots at the rim, they're not going to get fouled. They're too reliant on the three, and when those aren't falling, this is when you lose by 15.
They're not that proficient from the three-point line as well, the Hawks, so you have to create offense somewhere else and, getting teams in the bonus, creating that contact, that's one way of doing it. So if you're not doing either, then you're going to struggle.
Tuatara and Jets. Ironically, all three of us saw that game. We all saw Rob Lowe and what he does. We saw Jared Weeks put down 2 dunks in that game as well, by the way. And the Jets were right there.
Yeah.
So close.
So close. And that's what they're trying to achieve. Ngāti Taufale is really trying to get them to do that 40-minute performance. They're doing it in fits and spurts. It's just not coming together, and I think they're running out of time. Casey and I saw an interesting conversation after the game, after the Bulls game, between 2 of the imports of the Jets. It looked like a deep philosophical discussion about the direction of the team and what they're doing.
Well, it does take some soul searching. When you lose games, when you're in it down the stretch and things keep going wrong, what do we have to do? What do we have to change? And because you do have to change something. You can't keep going back and banging your head against the wall and hope to break the wall. Find another way around it. Right now, the way they're executing down the stretch isn't getting them wins. What can they change? Where can they look to score a little bit better? Become less reliant on chucking threes, create some more activity at the rim. That'd be my answer.
Mullers, don't tell us the 2 imports involved in that conversation. No. Case, can you tell us the one import that wasn't involved in that conversation?
Mustafa Heron. Mustafa Heron was not involved in it.
Ayers and the Saints. Lots to like about the Ayers. Kendrick Ray came in, had 23 in that game. I like him. I think he's going to go on and have a good second half of the season. There was no Anzac Rossetto, no Quinton Bailey, no Armon Fletcher. 3 big gaps in that team. They were there for a long time, the Ayers. The Saints just put the foot down late.
Again, they just hit their shots, the Saints, down the stretch. They have a lot of, as you say, Casey, bone marrow. They got Toe is big, Tom Vodanovic is big, Dane can come off the bench, and he's a body as well. And that's going to wear an Ayers team out, missing those 3 names who have got a lot of size themselves.
And even the length of the wing position. Musias, he's up there at 6'6", 6'7". Marlon Taylor, he's got some size as well. So they're big everywhere. And great job by the Ayers to come through and for 2.5 quarters be right there. But just down that from 15 minutes left to go on, they just did not have the horses to keep pace.
As a percentage, I'd love to know how many dimes Adnam is giving to Smith Milner, because Tohi is feasting.
Tohi's fit. He's back. He's got his legs under him. He looks like he's going really well. And that connection is so important. When you've got a big who can score, you've got a point guard who'll find him. That's an unstoppable duo.
Yep. We spoke earlier today. You actually, right now, think Tohi's up amongst All-Star 5.
I had him in the All-Star 5. He's displaced Sam Timmons from where I thought him was a couple weeks ago because of the efficiency. He's shooting 25, 28 points per game on like 13, 14 shots, hitting 10 shots of these. I mean, he does not need a lot of opportunity or ball in hand to make good things happen. Just
one call out on the Ayers, sold out.
Yeah,
full crowd. It was fantastic, wasn't it? Really, really good. Bulls and Jets, big crowd down there as well at the Stockyard. Bulls do enough again. Jets right there, got it back to within 4 down the stretch. Wasn't enough though. Bulls clear out. I really like what this team. I know you've been with them from the start, Mulls. I'm starting to become a believer.
Yeah, they've got size, and they've got size still to come. Tyrell, is close, but he's getting the cast off in a couple of weeks. Then they have to evaluate where that wrist will be. So they've still got plenty of time, but the way that they're finding Dan Futu, and he's getting to spots where he can attack the rim.
24 points in this one.
Is really key. And then they can go small, but they can go big as well. Ricky McGill, he likes to step up in that fourth quarter stretch. So the Bulls have got options. I love it.
All about defense for them. They play as good a defense as anyone in the competition, put great ball pressure on there. And in the weeks they haven't had Harrison, they've learned how to rebound without him, which finishing possessions is as important as anything. If they do get Harrison back at this point, I think it's going to be a big bonus, but they do not need him to win because of the shooting they've added in Jared Wilson-Frame and Matt Freeman.
We tried so hard to find out Dom Kalman-Poto's...
it was electricity.
It was. was.
He told me after the game it was lightning bolts.
Yes.
Yeah, but who's the hairdresser? Well, I want to know who is doing that every week, because that is a that's a three-person job.
If he's getting it for free, we're happy to give it a shout out.
Hey, listen, just quickly on the Bulls. It seems like every interview with a Bulls player, they just talk about the coach.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
love the
non-stop.
coach.
Yeah.
Dan Sokolovsky is intense to talk to, but you know you're going to get something really good basketball-wise, and he's very honest, and he looks like he's very direct. He had the classic stand-up timeout. We're not allowed in there when they do that, and we've been in timeouts, luckily enough, when the camera's been in there.
But even like the coaches' questions that we get at the end of the first and third quarter, he just zooms you in.
Yeah.
And he's like legit talking to you. He's like, this is what we're doing, Casey. Yeah. This is why we're doing the thing. And I'm like, I got to watch it. But okay, yeah, sure thing. You understand the presence he has. And you can tell he's got a belief in his teammates. And that's been reciprocated.
Have we still got belief in the Nuggets? Sharks absolutely destroyed them.
Those guys?
Well, I want to ask the question, what's going on? They won 7 in a row. They've lost their last 3. And they were absolutely blown off the floor.
The Sharks buried the Nuggets like we buried our queen. It was Queen King's birthday weekend. I mean, I've got nothing about
Did you
that.
say what I thought it said?
I love it.
Knew you would. I knew you would.
There is something. I mean, the last 2 games they haven't had Ja'Cory McLaughlin. The first loss was 2 weeks in a row against the Tuatara.
They were down by 46 at one stage.
They played without Ja'Cory McLaughlin and played harder. Why weren't they playing hard enough? And I understand that Michael Harris wasn't hitting his shots, and when that happens, no Ja'Cory, and then he's not hitting. That's not great.
The problem for me is if you're a championship team, you should be able to find a level of equilibrium defensively, even when everything is going wrong on that other end. But to give up 116 points to the Sharks, and it was just wide open, turnstile defense, wide open shots in the corner, backdoor cuts.
It was like traffic
Just
cones
no
at
attention to
times.
detail. And this is a championship team that needs to be playing like a championship team, regardless of the personnel they have on the
Sharks plus 20 on the boards, 29 assists. They shot 19 threes at 54%.
Flush the dunny and move on.
I mean, the Nuggets seriously ran the Sharks into great form.
They certainly did. The Sharks needed that too.
They did.
And I haven't been high on the Sharks this year because I didn't think they had the top-end talent.
Yep.
Alex Pledger's 24 minutes a game. If he can get there, that changes the whole look of this franchise.
Well, it was a good win for the Sharks. This is what it's done to the ladder, and they are definitely on the move. They've jumped up into 6th. Interestingly, the Hawks have head-to-head for memory on them, but the Sharks, a game in hand. They take on the Airs this week. Look at the Saints. The Saints, it doesn't seem that long ago that we were talking about them down in 9 and 10.
The Saints are marching in. The Sharks and the Hawks, that's where the battle is going to be. Who can actually catch each other? Because I just feel like that's going to alternate if the Hawks can get themselves together, which you don't know which Hawks team's going to show up, unfortunately.
Do we think the Giants or the Jets can win 6 out of their last 7?
No.
Can either one do it?
No.
I think the Jets could, because they did last year, and arguably had lesser talent
Miles,
import-wise.
do you think they can?
Yes. Yeah,
From here?
Yeah, I think they could put it together. We saw them do them, 5 in a row last year?
They beat the Nuggets this week.
Whoa.
Well, when's
Seems
Ja'Cory
very
back?
interesting, doesn't it?
All panic stations
Don't
for the
know.
new game.
And Michael Harris is a good shooter, but they're a good 3-point defensive team, the Jets.
Did you see who was on top of the ladder?
I did.
The Rams, 8 and 3. Guess what they've done?
I just read this now on my
Guess
notes.
what they've
Guess
done.
what?
Unreal.
It's right behind you. It's right behind you. This guy right here.
There we go.
He is now back.
How about that? Corey Webster, there it is. That's the big news. Signed, done, in. He's a Ram for the rest of the season.
Is Corey a big now?
Massive play.
It's Corey a big.
Maybe. Sure. why not?
What is Judd Flavel doing? That is not fair on the rest of the league. Corey Webster is in vintage vet form.
It's going to be interesting to see how he folds him into the lineup. We've just seen Taylor Britt play his best game of the season coming off concussion. Tevin Brown has been really good out of that guard position, sort of a combo guard. Now you're going to bring in Corey Webster, who's going to take away the minutes from QC, Quinn Clinton, and take the minutes away from Kai Isaac. But great to see Webb in here. He is a
So
flame,
good.
Yep.
and they've got instant offense.
Welcome back.
Final 6. I don't care which game it is. I just want to see the Nuggets and the Rams.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Ty
going
and
to be a lot
Corey.
of fun.
Webster's, get at it.
Speaking of head-to-head, NBA locked at 1 apiece. Miami have made a fist of this thing before Game 3 on Thursday.
Finally, we've got a series. A lot of people thought it was going to be a sweep. It might be a gentleman's sweep. I think Mike Malone and the Denver Nuggets, that was their wake-up call. But Jokic, he scored the ball. But I thought Miami did a really good job with their defense in the zone in the second half, taking away the cutters. You know, you can't guard Jokic because he's a supreme passer, but you can guard the cutters. You can take guys out of their lanes and make sure that it makes it hard for him to find those guys.
Jokic 4 assists in the game. 3 times this year he had less than four less assists in the game. The other 3 were all blowout wins where they blow people out. If they are able to force him to become a scorer, made him score over 40. That's the 3rd time in the playoffs he scored over 40. They lost all 3. So make him a scorer, take away his passing ability.
7 times in the playoffs, the Heat have come back from at least 10 points down to win games.
Well, straight out of the NBA chat, Miami and Denver locked at 1 apiece. And we go to our special guest, Jared Weeks. Who organised the interview this week? Was that you, Case? Where is he?
Why do I get all the blame for this stuff?
I'm sure you said Weeksy was joining us this week.
I don't know. I'll take the blame. It's once again my fault. As one of the bearded warriors, I'll take all the blame for the other beards out there.
Is it a 6-day Weeksy?
Did you
because he's missing on a Tuesday.
No, he's a coach now, so he hates media.
Oh, yeah,
He's announced his retirement. He doesn't care about us pumping up his playing abilities. He just wants to be a coach and concentrate on the
I'll tell you what I do like about Weeksy, just the way he spread that out. So he gave us nothing on Saturday night when we were there. The next day he's retired from the ANBL. Everyone goes, what's Weeksy going to do? 2 days later, he's an assistant coach.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe he should be in the media side because he's got this content release schedule down.
I like it. Surely we're going to see him as a senior coach in the future. Surely.
Yeah, I like what Jared Weeks does as a player. And the way that he is, he's a guy who stuck around, made a niche for himself in the league, and then became like this great player for the Tuatara. What a pickup for them. So, yeah, head coaching, absolutely.
His highlight film for his career was pretty impressive.
It was so cool.
A lot of good stuff coming through. Surprising that he only averaged 5 points because of the impact that he had on big games and big moments. And best of wishes to him as a coach. I'm sure he'll relate to the guys greatly.
I know you told us that he was going to be a guest today. Did you tell him? Maybe not.
It wasn't my job. I'm not a producer, mate.
I want to talk awards. Can we talk awards? We're 9 rounds in. We've got 6 to go. MVP, Rob Lowe for me at the moment. We've talked about that the last couple of weeks. Any disagreements?
No, none from me.
Kyle Adnam would be close.
Kyle Adnam would be close.
No?
Nobody's close because nobody has the effect on both ends of the court that Rob Lowe does.
Right.
He's first in blocks still, I believe, second in steals. His defensive win share is up above everybody else in the competition, and add to that the offensive load he carries. It's been really impressive.
Have you seen like a 31 that was more unassuming than Rob Lowe on Saturday night against the Jets?
That's a good call. Yeah.
Little jump hooks, always in the right spot. The fulcrum for the offense carries so much of it. Now he's finally got a little bit more help inside to go with him and Dalton and Nick Barrow. But
also, very few, just from memory, very few dribbles for Rob Lowe when he's scoring the ball. He doesn't like take his time in the post, bang, 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 backing down on the defender. He just sort of gets it to a spot, puts it up and in, gets on the glass, does his job.
Coach of the year? Any thoughts at the moment?
For me, Dan Sokolowski. A few weeks ago was Brett Matahare, this game skid. This is all in the moment where we're at, but the job that he's done, losing his best player, folding new talent in with seamlessly in the middle of the season, and having that team play solid defense.
I like it, but based on exactly what you've just said, losing best talent, folding other players in, Judd Flavel would be right up there as well.
I would say, either Judd Flavel, Aaron Young, or Dan Sokolowski, because what Aaron Young has done more with less.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And he's really empowered those young guys. Tom Beattie and Charlie Dalton have really had big roles with that squad.
Youth Player of the Year? It's down to 2, surely.
Mine is Dan Fortu before the season. Well, like comeback player, I think.
Does he qualify?
I'm not sure, but
the
youth player might. I don't know off the top of my head what the qualifications are.
I think it's 21 and under.
Yeah.
So for me, it's Walter Brown or Charlie Dalton.
Yeah, I think it's Walter Brown.
Walter Brown leading the way.
It's those two, isn't it?
The way he's
those two, for sure.
Walter.
What about All-Star 5?
All-Star 5. I would go Kyle Adnam.
1.
Ja'Cory McLaughlin.
2.
Rob Lowe.
3.
I would have to put in one. I'd have to put in maybe Tevin Brown in there.
Yeah.
And then 3 guards.
In form.
And then I've got Rob Lowe. So my fifth one, I still haven't decided on my
Todd
fifth
Withers?
one. Yeah, Todd Withers. But then they're on the slide at the moment, and Todd Withers he wasn't effective against the Southland Sharks. He was a man on an island.
Don't live in the moment.
Nobody was effective,
Yeah.
by the way.
Don't live in a moment. You got to think the full breadth of
Todd Withers.
Your 5?
Well, obviously 3 bigs for me. Yep. so we're going to go with Tohi Smith-Milner. I love the efficiency with which he's playing.
Yeah.
He's my 5-man. Rob Lowe, he's the best player in the league right now. He deserves to be there. And Todd Withers because of his second only to Rob Lowe 2-way contribution. And then for the guards, man, it's tough. You mentioned Brown, you mentioned McLaughlin. Those guys have been great.
Didn't mention Kendall.
Well, Adnam and Kendall for me at this point. The way Kendall's carried that load and Kyle Adnam, the way he's running that offense, those are my guards right now. And Jared Weeks also just on the outside looking in.
Quickly, Defensive Player of the Year?
Oh, Ricky McGill.
Oh, I like that. I do like that.
I think 3-way race. McGill's in there right now for me.
Surely Withers gets nominated this year.
Withers is in there for me right now. But right now, I'm going Rob Lowe.
Yeah, okay, I like that as well.
Contributed.
Steals, blocks, yep, love it. Let's have a look at games coming up in round 10 of the Sal's NBL. Nuggets played Monday night, King's birthday. They are straight on the road against the Jets and the Saints. That's tough. Sharks at home to the Airs. They go in with some form after that big win over the Nuggets. Looking further ahead in round 10 as we flip it over. Hawks at home to the Bulls. Surely they get a game at home. They desperately need a win there. Giants and Rams, Tuatara and the Bulls. What a massive game live on Sky and Prime on Sunday night. Mullins, your feature game is that game.
It is that game. It's the battle for BP Jury. It's the rights to be the best team in the 09. I love what happened last time these two teams played. I was thinking about it the other day, like the Bulls came back from 24 down in the third quarter, and they did it. They did it methodically. Like they didn't go crazy from 3 because they're not a 3-point shooting team. But this is why Dan Sokolovsky is a great coach in this league, because he got them to buy in. They didn't just think, down 24, we're done. This game's going to be lit.
And even without Harrison, they have the personnel to wear you down. They can keep rotating guys in against a team that lacks depth like the Tuatara do.
I go home sore because of Jamal Brantley's defense. Just watching it. Cruising.
For me, my game of the week is the Saints versus the Nuggets. The Saints are on a tear. The Nuggets are not. Two teams heading in opposite directions. Can the Nuggets re-steady the ship and get themselves smooth sailing? Or will the Saints put their hand up as we're a top 4 team and we're coming for the title?
It's a massive, massive game for both of those teams, the Saints and the Nuggets. I wonder if BP Jury know that they get 2 plugs a year.
Well, if they do, cha-ching.
You want a first name basis, by the way?
It's got a great Wellbeing Cafe in there.
There you go.
Wonderful selection.
I'm well versed with it from my time playing for Waikato.
There's another sponsor, by the way. Yes and no. Here we go. Rightio, strap yourselves in. Should we be concerned about the Nuggets? Yes or no?
No.
They've got some, a little bit of talent.
They've got some backcourt guys to come in.
A little bit.
Fair enough. Jared Weeks is retired from the ANBL. Could he play in the Sal's NBL for another 3 years?
Well, 3 years is a long drink, but he's definitely got more left in the tank. I'll say yes.
Yes, but it's his choice if he wants to.
Of course it's his choice.
And but if he wanted to, he totally could. But maybe he's going to get on that coaching journey. He's going to catch it. What a great asset to have if you're Aaron Young in the Tuatara and have him back.
The springs for 6'1" guards dropped considerably between 33 and 36.
Got up and put 2 down.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're very springy right now.
If you're the Bulls, would you re-sign Daniel Sokolovsky right now?
In a heartbeat.
Absolutely.
Well, please. I beg you, please.
Get it done.
Please stay.
Does the inclusion of Corey Webster, who we announced earlier tonight, does it make the Rams championship favourites as of round 10?
I like what Max Darling's done. Troy Baxter Jr. is just flying around the key.
Yes or no?
But there's no bone marrow, so.
Yes or no? No.
Yeah, we got to see what Galen Young looks like.
Galen Smith?
Pardon me, Galen Smith.
Is he young?
That's a former Galen in my life that I used to play against, RIP. But yeah, I think they've reloaded the gun that was already loaded.
Yeah.
They've got so many guards, it's going to be tough to figure out. They're better, but I don't know if
you're not sold yet.
So
okay,
I
fair
say
enough.
no one favorite.
Sal's NBL, should the league introduce multi-year contracts going forward?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Tokomanawa Queens, turning our attention to To'ihi, are they the only team with players at the moment? What is going on, Casey?
Well, they're solidifying
announcing
the
players?
I feel. Yeah, it's in the wind. So coming up soon. So yes, at the moment, yes, they are.
Yes.
Samara Gallagher got announced last week.
She did.
Go
No,
Hoyas.
down at the Hoya. I know. July 12, the To'ihi tips off, of course, but it's not the only competition.
What else tips off
that
on
tips
July
off
12?
on July 12? This was announced
Bang, baby.
earlier today. Sky Broadband Rapid League is coming.
It's going to be a fantastic
I like
initiative.
Sky Broadband. I have Sky Broadband, and it's a wonderful feature.
And it goes fast, just like
The Rapid League. I love the innovation of the Rapid League.
Great tie-in.
It's going to be a lot of fun to watch that before each To'ihi game.
And just the development of players. It's a real fantastic opportunity
Yep.
for the ends of benches to get that game experience and get some publicity as for the games.
I like that new logo too. Who
It's
came up with
pretty
that?
good. It's pretty good.
Involved in
It's
that?
pretty good.
There we go.
Have you been on clip art again?
Our graphic designer's going to take offense. Steve,
Sorry.
it wasn't me.
Sorry,
it was Andrew
Steve.
Mulligan.
I'm joking at Casey's expense, not yours, Steve.
Can we get out of here? Have a great week. Sell soup heads.
once
We'll
again,
catch you
let's keep
again next week. They just
Get
don't
out of here.
stop. They don't stop. See you next week.
Samsonite, I was way off.